All righty, now that we know what grasslands are and some of the history of grasslands, let's talk about how grasslands are important to people and wildlife of all kinds. With me is Susan Johnson. She works for the U.S. Forest Service in tribal relations. Susan, thank you for coming out today. Appreciate you being here.
It's great to be here. Thank you so much.
I love your necklace, by the way.
Thank you so much.
Very
it's a
nice.
beautiful necklace that I'm wearing today.
Good deal. Let's start right off the bat. I understand that you are Native American.
I am Native American. I belong to two tribes. On my mother's side, I'm a Rikara Hiradza Mandan from North Dakota. And on my father's side, I am White Earth Chippewa from Minnesota. There are about 566 federally recognized tribes that live in the United States, including Alaska, each with our own language, governance, and way of life.
Now let's go back in time. How many tribes used to reside on the grasslands?
Many tribes used to live on the grasslands over time immemorial. By the 1800s, there were approximately 32 tribes living and hunting, sustaining themselves on the grasslands. Because of the tribes in the grasslands were semi-nomadic, they would move to where there was hunting. But there were several tribes, including my own, that made permanent habitats next to rivers, and we actually grew corn, squash, peas, and we would hunt, and we would hunt for bison and for deer. And so we had a very beautiful life. Several of the tribes did use teepees because it's a very convenient form of creating habitat.
So that's part of the culture.
Part of the culture.
The environment kind of drove the culture a little bit, right?
Yes, it did. Very good. The environment was really what we used to inform ourselves around our language, our arts, our way of life, and our ceremonies.
So you're kind of intertwined. Let's talk a little bit about with the environment and the culture together, about the camping and the dance that arose and that type of thing. It's all part of the big culture of living on the grasslands, right?
So yes, go with me now. Let's say that we are a Native American family, and we have our extended family, our grandpas and our grandmas and our cousins, and we are moving to a traditional hunting grounds, and we're taking our habitat with us, which is in the form of teepees. Teepees are erected very quickly. They're great habitats, and you put hide around them. When the people who were responsible for finding our camping sites found one, they would say, this is the place that we're going to be, and they would come and tap down the grass in a circle. While they were doing that, they would pray and sing a song so that while the people were there, while the families were there, that they would be protected and that the hunting would be good for us.
The grass dance, right?
The grass dance.
Yeah,
yes,
for sure.
Good job.
Now let's move up to present day. How are Native Americans and the grasslands intertwined today?
Well, there are approximately, and I'm being very general here, about 39 federally recognized tribes who are affiliated and or still live very closely to the Great Plains grasses and also the Southern Plains. As a little girl, though, our people are still very much utilitarians of our natural environment. And one of the particular plants that we are very fond of is a tall, beautiful, handsome pink flower called echinacea. Echinacea provides medicine for us, and we use it when we're having a sore throat or a headache.
That's a popular plant to use these days, right?
People can find it in the grocery store, even right now.
You make tea out of it?
You
and
make
that type
tea
of
out
thing?
of it, you can make a tincture out of it, and it's used for pain medicine.
Oh my gosh. Let's talk a little bit about how animals are used and how really our animals are there for survival, basically, right?
That's correct. One of the very important, and we just heard a little bit about it, was the American bison, buffalo. At least here in the Great Plains, the Indian people revere the bison because it provided food, shelter, and a way of life for our people to be successful on the grasslands. And so because of that, we have a great deal of reverence for it. Even today, it informed our culture, it informed our songs, our prayers, our governance, and our way of life. And we still are very closely affiliated to the bison as a very important animal to us today.
And we were talking earlier that there's a possibility, or has it already been done, that the bison is going to become the national mammal? Was
You're
that
right. You're absolutely right. The bison was designated as the national mammal, very much like the bald eagle is the national bird.
Wonderful.
But what you may not know is that the bison is being brought back to Indian country, to tribal reservations, to be cared for and to be protected.
Susan, thank you so much for letting us know about all this. There's so much we can learn from traditional practices. Grasslands and people have a rich history together, and that relationship continues to be important today.